Good morning, day 304, cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. Well, today is, right now it's like 41 degrees, but it's going to go up to 65. And the rest of the week is going to be in the low 70s. Yay! So that should be really nice. I think I might just enjoy some time outside and not do too much work. Still have a couple things to cover up. Nothing epic, and even if it got snowed on, it wouldn't bother it too much. So we never did get that snow. We had like a slushy mix kind of thing coming down, but that was a few days ago. So it hasn't had a hard freeze yet, and we haven't had the snow yet, so yay. But it's coming. It's coming for sure. So I was watching a video on the grand solar minimum, and I guess every 11 years our sun cycles from a maximum into a minimum, and it correlates with sunspots and activity and all that. So we're headed into a solar minimum. So I don't know if that's going to mean that we're going to have cold and more snow, or I don't know what it means. But anyway, I think since the Earth began billions of years ago, we've always had cycles of ice and snow. At one point, we had a snowball Earth. Before that, we had like a hellfire Earth where everything was on fire. But that was a long, long time ago before it cooled off. But there's always been cycles. So, and I'm sure we're not helping things out. But I don't think that we should start fooling with the weather. That, to me, is dangerous. But apparently, Bill Gates is talking about doing that, shooting some things up into the atmosphere to help cool it off. I don't think that's a good idea, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I've got lots to eat today. On to another more cheerful subject. We'll talk about food. It seems like that's all I talk about. And I'm not even that obsessed with food. I only eat twice a day. But I don't know. I guess it's more about saving money than about anything else. So we all have our nemesis, I guess. So I've been thinking about things that I still need to stock up on. I haven't really worked through my long-term stash at all. I'm just working through my working pantry and working through some food that's getting older that I need to use up. So, but I'm so happy with the progress that I've made with my freezer. I'm not using all of that up either. As I see this stock starting to go down, I will replenish, but not like it was. I'm not going to cram it so full of food that I forget what's in there. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, try and have a day of slow living, and we'll see what the day brings. So I'll meet you at the fridge or with a chat in a little bit. Okay, let's see what's for breakfast this morning. Whoops. All right, I still have this yogurt cream cheese and this little piece of seitan. I'm going to have that. Then I made this roasted green pepper. I'm going to have that with some of this cheese. And I think I'm going to have it on a bagel. So let's go into the freezer. Oh, up here I wanted to show you. So this is how much Greek style yogurt I got. And that was from a whole quart of 1% milk. And in here I have the whey. I want to see if I can do something with that, maybe, if I'm not too busy. So I think I'm going to have some more of my fake and bacon bits too. All right, let's go look for that bagel. All right, I know exactly where it is, I think. There it is. All right, another thing gone out of the freezer. Looking pretty good. Now I have to work on this shelf down here, but once I make some broth, a lot of that'll go. But I have some frozen broth too that I made from the last batch. So okay, I will meet you at the stove. Okay, here we are at the stove again. That's better. Let there be light. Okay, well, I just have a bagel here, and I'm going to have a piece of banana bread. And then my homemade yogurt cheese. So, it's a nice day today. Nice and sunny, but it's cool. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow to do anything outside. And I'm just going to do a couple things just to finish up. I have some caladiums I want to bring in. And just a couple things to cover up. So this is the last of the bagels, and today is the 21st of October, and I haven't shopped for food. I've shopped, but not for food, and I've only gone shopping. I bought some lounge wear yesterday at Costco, so if you missed that video and you feel like it, check it out. So this is also the last of my seitan, and I will make more of that, but I still have some corned beef seitan that I want to eat up first. So I'm just going to put a little bit of these bacon bits on my cream cheese. Get some protein going here in between the yogurt and the tofu bacon bits and the seitan. That should be quite a bit of protein. So just going to put the seitan right on top. And now it'll be bacon flavored seitan. And then I have these peppers that I roasted. Roasted those a couple days ago when I did my cooking marathon. And I didn't have a video of that, but it's just some peppers I roasted with some little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt. So I want to put some of that onto my seitan here. I think that'll be good. So this is kind of oily since I roasted it with oil, but I think it'll be tasty. Now this still has the skin on. If you don't like the skin, then, you know, take it off. So today I'm just taking it easy. I'm getting things done, doing a little bit of laundry, just kind of hanging out at home. But Now my washer is going on the fritz. I was still able to wash a load, and I have one more I would like to wash, but it kind of sounds like it's going to take off at any moment's notice. So I'm going to have to look for a new washer, but such is life. You know, sometimes these things happen and it hits you all at once, but grandson Ryan and I have to have a washer, so I'll do what I did with the trees, pay it off as I can, because I'm not going to get a washboard. That I don't want to do. So, okay. And I still have one piece left. So I'm going to have this and some coffee, and it's brunch time already because it's noon. So a couple more things gone. I have one more piece of banana bread. I'll probably have that later with a cup of tea. And that banana bread was good. My daughter liked it too, and it didn't require any eggs because I'm trying to conserve my eggs for the rest of the month. And I think I have 11 eggs left, so I'm being very conservative with those. So I'm going to go eat my breakfast, and then I'll be back later. Okay, it's time for dinner. And I have some of my eggplant parm, and I had some of the garlic cheese curds from Aldi's. I need to use those up. In here I have a little tiny bit of greens, and I'm going to add a little tiny bit of this champagne dressing, not too much. I don't want to overpower it because this is going on my sandwich. That's plenty. And a little salt. That's enough. A little pepper. Give it a mix. And this is just stuff from my garden. So just greens from the garden. Then I just cut it up with some kitchen shears. So here I have a couple pieces of Walmart bread, and I'm going to put, and I think this is the eggplant. Yes, this is eggplant. So I'm going to add that to my sandwich here. I'm going to cut it in half so it fits on the bread better. And then I had one sweet potato left that I got in my last flash food haul, which was from last month, and this had to be eaten up. So I turned it into sweet potato fries, and they are good. I seasoned them with a little bit sweet ginger garlic seasoning and a little bit of Memphis barbecue seasoning. And I coated them with spray coconut oil, and I cooked them for about 15 minutes in the air fryer. Alright, so then I'm going to add this salad to the sandwich. I think this will be very tasty. And if it isn't, we'll eat it anyway. Well, how can it be terrible, right? Okay. So that's the sandwich. Lizzie! Something's going on outside. Alright, so in here I have some ketchup, some of this mayo ketchup, and whatever seasoning was left from the bag, I put in there too. So okay, this is my dinner, using up what I have. And I still have 2 meals of spaghetti with the Parmesan, tomato, and eggplant. So I think that looks pretty good. Picture time. Okay, let's give this sandwich a go. Now I had a little more spaghetti sauce, but I'm saving that for a little non-pizza. Otherwise I could have put some of that on the bread. So let me try the French fries. Those are really good. You could even add a little cinnamon to it if you wanted to. Because cinnamon is really tasty on sweet potatoes. But that's a great combination. All right. Let me bring you a little closer, and then I'm going to try my sandwich. And it's going to be messy. Here's what it looks like. I think it looks good. Yeah, I'm used up a lot of cheese. But I have more. So, all right, here we go. That's really good. So if you've never had an eggplant sandwich before, give it a try. It's really tasty. All right, I'm going to eat my dinner, and then I'll be back and we'll have a little chat. Hello there. Well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I want to talk a little bit about attention deficit and feeling overwhelmed with everything that you have to do. So I came up with 7 things that I do to get past that. And I think almost everybody suffers from that every now and then. So I kind of just have to step back a little bit and get real with myself. Now, I don't run around like a crazy woman going, oh my God, I've got all this to do. But, sometimes your list grows kind of long. So I did some laundry today. That was on my list. And then I noticed that my washer sounded like it was going to take off on a runway. So I have to go look for a new wash machine. But what I'm going to do is physically go to the store. I'm going to try Best Buy and Home Depot and see if they have any open items. That's what this wash machine was when I first bought it. It had a dent in the side of it, but I didn't care. And there's also, I think, a Sears outlet store that I could try. And I'll just see if I can find one that's a scratch and dent or an open box, because sometimes people order things and then it's not what they wanted. So they send them back and then they can't sell them as new things. So that's what I'm going to try. I don't even know if they do that anymore because I did that 20 years ago. So anyway, getting back to my list. Okay, now the first thing on my list is I've started making a weekly to-do list instead of a daily to-do list. And I try and keep it simple, and I just put on there like maybe 5 or 6 things that I want to accomplish during the week. So, and if I don't get them all accomplished, I roll it over into the next week. Like this week, I wanted to pay bills, I wanted to do laundry, I wanted to change the cover on my sofa, I wanted to clean a chair, I wanted to do my greens, I wanted to change my refrigerator filter, and repot my Christmas cactus. Did I get it all done? No, I did not. But I'm just going to cross off what I did do and carry on. And I'm not going to keep adding and adding and adding unless it's something that I really have to do. But I want to work through that list first, and then I'll make a new list. Okay, the second thing that I do my tasks from basic to complex, from the easiest to the hardest. And the reason that I do that is because it's self-rewarding when you see yourself. I like to check things off the list. That's why I like a written list. And I like to check things off. And then it's like, oh, good for you, you did this or you did that. So for me, it's motivating to do something else on the list. Because if I start with the hardest thing, then I'm never going to get through the list. Or it'll take me a very long time to get through the list. So I would rather keep the hardest thing for last, and then I can break that down into steps until it's completed. Okay, the third thing that I do is I plan rest breaks so that I can re-energize throughout the day, and I work in segments of 15 to 30 minutes. So I'll work for 15 to 30 minutes. If I want to keep going, I keep going, and if I don't, then I make myself a cup of tea, I make myself a coffee, I might have a little snack. I go sit down, put my feet up for a half an hour, and then usually at the end of that time I feel like, okay, I can get up now and do some more. Or sometimes I'll take a very short power nap. I don't necessarily sleep, but I'll close my eyes for a little bit and just be quiet. Now, for me, 5 minutes isn't enough. You know, I plan on half-hour break sessions throughout the day, and that seems to motivate me to get going and keep working. Okay, tip number 4. Keeping a notebook and a pencil with you when you're doing your tasks from your list. And then when you're doing a task and you're getting stuck with doing that task, make yourself some notes of, okay, why can't I get this task done? I can't get it done because there's 20 things in the way of whatever it is, so I can't get to it, so I don't even start. But by doing that, you'll see what you need to do, the steps you need to take to actually get to the task that you want to complete. And then I find a lot of times it's a pattern. For instance, my air fryer. Yeah, I don't have a ton of counter room in my kitchen. I have a good sized kitchen, but it wasn't set up really the best, you know, not to maximize the space. I have a lot of space in the middle of the kitchen and not so much on the outside of it. So there's always stuff in front of the air fryer, always. That little area right there always collects things. Sometimes it's plasticware that I took out of the dishwasher and it wasn't quite dry, so I leave it there. Or it's a glass jar maybe that, oh, well, I don't have the room for this now because I've been saving glass jars. Whatever it is, But for me to write it down of why do I put everything there, it kind of helps me see a pattern and what I need to do. So most of the stuff that ends up there doesn't have a home. So I need to find XYZ a home and keep that clear so that I can use my air fryer. And writing these things down, sometimes you can see a pattern of what you do, the blocks, the roadblocks you put up for yourself not to be able to complete a task. Okay, the fifth thing that I do is I work either in a clockwise or a counterclockwise. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I work that way around the room. I start in one corner and then I stick to that corner until everything's completed before I move on to the next place. So that helps me stay focused on my task because I tend to go from here to there and then I'm over there and then I'm over there because I see things and I don't want to forget. So then I go over and I do that thing and then I forget I was doing that thing, but I didn't forget that thing. So if I make a big effort to just stick to the clock and keep going that way, I find I get things done much quicker and I don't have so much wasting energy and zooming from place to place to place. So I do that. Couple more. Number 6. Stay working in one room and have boxes available for those articles that need to go to a different place in your home. So in other words, if I'm working in my bedroom and I have a pair of shoes that go in a different closet in a different room, and if I stop and I go put those shoes away and then I have to come back and I have to start all over again of what was I doing, what was I trying to accomplish. But if I have a box or a basket or whatever, a bin, and I put all the things that are going to go in that other room in that box or bin, then I can continue to do what it is I need to do in the room that I'm working in. And that works real well for me. And it keeps me focused because especially if it's something I don't feel like doing, I lose focus very easily. I get very easily distracted and it's like, oh good, I can do this instead, you know. So, and then it takes forever to get a simple task done. So that works well for me. And then number 7, and this is the last tip. Before you start your day, plan your meals for that day and keep the meals simple. You know, if it's cereal and milk for breakfast or toast and peanut butter and jelly, but keep it simple. You know, don't cook a strata or, you know, whatever on that day. Just keep it simple. Get it done, have your coffee, and then go do your tasks. The same for whatever other meal you eat, whether that's lunch or dinner or, you know, something in between. Have some frozen meals available, whether they're meals that you've cooked, that you've put in your freezer. Pull them out in the morning, stick them in the fridge so that you'll have them available. And you won't have to stop and go out and pick up some fast food or whatever, or you won't have to stop early and say, oh, now I gotta cook spaghetti or whatever. So keep frozen meals on hand for those days where you have tasks that you want to complete. Or sandwiches, you know, have bread and lunch meat and cheeses and have some lettuce already cleaned if that's what you're putting on your sandwich. Have all the fixings ready to go so that when you're hungry, you don't have to spend an hour or more fixing your meal. Or you could have canned soup, or you could have a salad that you prep early in the day, like right after breakfast. Do all your chopped up vegetables, whatever it is you want in your salad, and then all you have to do is put a dressing on it, and Bob's your uncle. So those are some of the things that I do to keep myself on task, and make things a little more pleasant so that I'm not running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Just keeping it a little more organized and staying on task really is helpful to me. And maybe it'll be helpful for you too. So that's all I have on that subject, but I made the yogurt and it turned out real well. And now I have some whey, and earlier today I was looking up some bread recipes because you guys know I'm not a big baker. I mean, I've made bread before that's turned out really good. In fact, I had a sourdough starter for a long time, but then I let it go, and actually I made it with kombucha, and I have a video somewhere in the hundreds of videos that I've made where I made a sourdough starter using kombucha, and it made a really, really good sourdough. But anyway, that sourdough starter is long gone, but I'd like to make a new one because I love sourdough bread. And actually, for people that have a hard time with gluten, digesting gluten, they say sourdough is very easy to digest, and it's easier to digest than regular bread. But do research on that if you're interested in that little tidbit. So I want to make some more sourdough starter, and then I want to make a no-knead bread. I've been watching a lot of videos on bread making, and it seems like people don't do a ton of the kneading part anymore. A lot of people make bread and they let it ferment for several hours, and then they fold it. They stretch and fold and stretch and fold. So I'd like to try that. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I think that's it. And I made notes. When I made my yogurt, I took notes, because usually, I just pull these things out of my hat. And then I can't remember what I did. It's a good thing I make these videos, because sometimes I have to go back and re-watch them. And it's like, well, how did I make that? Because I don't remember. But this time I made notes. So anyway, all right. I'm done for the day. I just wanted to have a little bit of a talk about getting things done. And I know sometimes it's really hard, especially if you have physical problems. It's not always, okay, I'm going to do this and just work for hours and hours, because I know it doesn't work for me, and I know a lot of you say it doesn't work for you either. So if you have any great tips of how to get things done, how you do it, and what you do and what works, then leave a comment below for the rest of us. Okay? Alright, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.